Welcome to LoveBytes, the show where we debug romance. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist.
I am not a patient.
I don't have a degree in sociology or psychology, but what I do have is wealth of experience and a sincere desire to help you. Because sometimes love can get messy. And sometimes, if you're not careful, love bites.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to LoveBytes. Ryan, how are you doing after the break?
Doing well.
Good.
So,
Those
right
3
where you
minutes.
left me. I don't even know if I got up out of this off this couch.
Wow. Is that a picture of Mount Fuji behind you?
No.
Is
Try
that?
again though.
Uh,
That's
oh,
Mount,
the,
that's
the
Mount
Washington
Rainier.
Mountain, Mount Rainier. Yeah.
Washington Mountain.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway,
But it is it's a painting, so it could be any mountain. It looks kind of like the Lonely Mountain, doesn't it?
what's the Lonely Mountain? I've
From
never read
Hobbit.
The Hobbit. I'm sorry.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I've never
you
read The
serious?
Hobbit or seen the Hobbit movies.
And you are a professional Dungeons and Dragons streamer, and you have never read The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings?
I read The Lord of the Rings, and I watched the films, but I never saw the Hobbit
Like-
movies or read the Hobbit book.
Get the fuck out of here!
know.
Read that's your assignment for. I mean, yeah. Considering how much of the culture you consume is.
I know. How much of it is Tolkien based? I should be more familiar with Tolkien. I know.
Yeah.
As I said, there are things that I'm embarrassed about and ashamed of.
They
And
make
have self-doubts.
audiobooks these days too. Though.
I know, but I've been
And-
listening to hardcore history, and I've been watching the extra history that Extra Credits does, and I've been busy, man. I've been busy. Okay. Anyway, new question. Hey Neil, got another one for you. So there's this girl I've known for a year or so now. We're really good friends and talk daily. We're generally pretty flirty with each other, but neither of us has really shown initiative to actually commit to a relationship. Recently, she's been going out with the guy who I'll call Ryan. Now, I'm totally okay with this. I like her and all, and honestly wouldn't mind going on a few dates, but I'm 100% fine with her dating someone else. However, even after they've been together for a month or so, she got even more flirty and was saying lots of things I don't think are totally appropriate for someone who's currently in a relationship. And even more recently, she kind of tried to kiss me. Nothing happened, but as far as I know, she's still seeing Ryan regularly. I'm really confused. Please help. Sincerely, Scared and Social. Well, there are two philosophies of thought on this. The one philosophy is you are not responsible for her actions. If she wants to kiss you while she's dating someone else, that's her business, and you are out of any moral obligation or moral quandary. The other school of thought is you need to support the change you wish to see in the world, and if you don't like her, if you don't want her to be kissing other guys while she's with you, you shouldn't kiss her while she's with other guys. Those are the two schools of thought. And I tend to flip back and forth between them depending on my mood, to be honest.
It sounds like she's not exclusively dating this other guy.
Or maybe she is and she has doubts.
Yeah. In which case, you probably don't want to get involved in it, or maybe you do. Sometimes trouble's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess if this is someone you. Clearly he's writing in, so he has some feelings for this girl.
Yeah. He said he'd be
And
happy to go.
I'm assuming that it's I don't know. So I guess you got to ask yourself: is she worth whatever ensuing drama? Is this someone that you want in your life? And if so, pursue. This drama.
But how would you pursue this, Ryan?
not worth
If this was the girl and she was worth it to you to get involved in, how would you go about
It
pursuing?
doesn't sound well. I don't know if she's exclusive with this other guy, but it doesn't sound like it. I don't think he's. Yeah.
I mean, we don't know whether they're exclusive or not.
Yeah, but I don't know that you should that it should matter to you unless it doesn't.
You could do the
She's clearly having doubts, and if you want to have a relationship with her, you don't want her to be sneaking around behind his back with you, but you can ask her to make a decision between him and you.
absolutely. That's where I was gonna go. Because if you do the whole sneaking around behind someone's back thing, it'll
That's not.
be it'll be
It
fun. It'll
happens.
be hot. It'll be great. And then as soon as you guys or she splits up with him and you guys get together, all that like sneaking that kind of fueled the fires is gonna disappear and it's gonna kind of crash and burn. That's
Yeah.
my guess. That happens a lot from what I hear from friends and people and media and whatnot. I don't know if that's actually true. I've never snuck around behind anyone's back. Although I've been asked to, and I said no.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
I think what Ryan said is right. You need to kind of draw the line here and be like, look, if you want to
That
date
was
me,
me.
then let's fucking date. But I don't want to date while you're dating this dude. Like, or maybe if she says, maybe you should figure out whether they are exclusive or not. That might be a good place to start because if they're not exclusive, if they're like kind of sort of dating, but they're not
Like
exclusively
from
dating.
my perspective or my perception here, and I rolled a 15 today.
Mm-hmm.
Is that this guy is in the same position as you, only he's
Going on
he
dates.
yeah going on dates. Only he's being a little more bold about it. Like I think she's not convinced one way or another. She's young. She's dating a couple guys because no one has yet demanded her. I don't demand is the wrong word, but no one has compelled
Hmm.
her exclusivity. Which is, and it sounds like maybe that's not even an important thing to you,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. But if you want a relationship with her,
You're gonna have to do something about it.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
And yeah, it's all good and well to be. I'm not going to go down there. I was going to get into the sneaking behind the back versus well, it can be fun, but ultimately that's going to be destructive, short-sighted behavior that probably don't want in your life. But if it happens,
yeah.
you make mistakes. Life goes on.
I mean,
you have these experiences.
experiences are good. And experiences are fun.
You have another point, or
Just
bring
that if
this
you're
one to a
confused
close?
and you could go either way on this, kind of like what we said with the guy before, is if you can go either way, pick a way and commit to it, and then just go that way.
Yeah.
Like if you want to date her, if you're interested in her, and you're fine with her dating someone else, but she could be something that you might want to chase after it. It's better to chase the things you like in life than to just watch them walk away. So chase after the girl, be like, you know what? You should be with me. Screw this Ryan guy.
Don't even worry. Don't even. You do not have a relationship with her and Ryan. As awesome as this Ryan guy sounds, I'm sure he's tall and handsome and muscular and brilliant.
But he can't lock it down.
What a dreamboat! But he's pussyfooting around. Sorry, that's the wrong word.
No, that's the right word.
Sure. Yeah.
That's totally the right word. Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
You have a relationship with her. That was before I got sidetracked,
Mhm.
describing myself in excruciating details. You don't have a relationship with the other guy. You have a relationship with her. You can have a relationship with the other guy if that's what floats your boat. But in this instance, it sounds like you are interested in her. So tell her that. Why? Don't even worry about this other guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unless they're married or
Yeah. I mean,
dating exclusively.
if she's interested
And
in you and you're interested in her, and even if she's dating this other person, you can pull her away from that. There's not. Look, until there's a ring on the finger, it is not foul play to steal someone's date.
Yeah.
All is fair in love and war, guys. All is fair. Do not feel bad about breaking up another couple for yourself unless they're like married or something like that. That begins to get into awkward territory where people are building their lives together, not just dating. Like that's the point where things get a little bit more tenuous and they're likely to kill you.
Yeah, be the little swashbuckling rogue you are and sweep her off her feet.
Mm-hmm.
Steal her right out from under this hobgoblin's nose.
Yeah. All right, we got.
Don't steal her. Women aren't property.
But Metaphorically.
Metaphorically steal her right out from under this guy's nose.
Yeah, steal her heart from him. Steal from him. There we go. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I want to get to one more question. We're kind of running out of time, and this is a long question, so we're going to move on here. And as I said, this is a long question. Dear Neil, this is a follow-up question to an email I sent about a year ago. Should you remember, I'm the guy that sent a huge wall of text question to you, which you answered in an episode together with Elohim, the answer that trailed off into a conversation about dwarf sex, which was also quite interesting. God, I don't remember that one, but it sounds
Glad
great.
to know I'm not the only one that derails the conversation.
You are definitely not. This one, once again, ended up being ignoramously long. My apologies for that. Anyway, the guy with a crush on someone who ended up inviting me into her group of friends. I was the guy with a crush on someone who ended up inviting me into her group of friends. It went a bit more natural than that, but I lacked the English skills to describe it in a more precise manner. Your advice was just to be myself, join these people, and work on my social skills, not worrying about my feelings for this girl or screwing up the situation. I'm happy to say that I followed your advice, and now I am in an amazing group of friends. LoveBytes works, guys. Testify. Although we are a larger group, about 10 people, of which I am one of these guys, we are all really close. So happy to hear about this for you. However, the feelings I have for this girl have not disappeared. If anything, I got to know her a bit more, and it turns out she's not only attractive, but also intelligent, creative, witty, a talented cosplayer and makeup artist. And I discovered that we have some more interests in common outside of runic writing and general geeky stuff. I remember this question. You guys were both into like writing runes, and she had a whole bunch of cool friends, and you had like all these weird geeky interests, but you wanted to be friends with her friends because you didn't have any friends at the time, and you were conflicted, and now you made friends with her, but she's still really cool and interesting to you. I get it. I'm catching on. We both love musicals. Well, we can't all be perfect. The only huge downside, except for the Scrubs musical, guys, and Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Those are great. The only huge downside is that I feel no, she just doesn't have any romantic feelings for me. During the previous year, I also went for advice to two of my other friends. The first one being my old high school friend who's a complete outsider to the situation. His advice was to just go for it and let her know, although he acknowledged that this was not as easy as it sounds. The second person I went to was one of the other female friends from within our close group of friends. Since a few months ago, she's also a roommate of my crush, but that doesn't really matter. I trust her completely, and she has assured me that she would keep it to herself, and if I ever wanted to talk about it again, I can. She's a psychology student, by the way. She told me couldn't really help me to make my decision and basically laid out the two options, tell her or try to get over my feelings. She also told me that she thinks my crush probably didn't have any romantic feelings for me. Oof. A few months have passed since then, and I still don't really know what to do. On the one hand, I want to avoid any awkwardness and just get over her, but yeah, easier said than done. I know myself. I can try to get her out of my head as much as I want, and I can come up with a billion reasons as to why I should forget her, but there's always this little spark of hope that keeps on defying all reason. Then there's also the fact that we're close friends. Is it dishonest to keep it from her? Would you want to know if one of your best friends had feelings for you, or would you rather have him keep it to himself? I don't know. Truth is, I'm also just afraid for the inevitable rejection. I mentioned my background in my email from a year ago, which I don't expect you to remember, but let's just say that my current situation closely resembles the situation I was in high school, with the difference that I'm now closer friends with my crush. It ended with me sending a love letter to that girl that we never talked again. Now, I know this isn't going to happen with my current crush. We'll still talk and we'll be friends, but let's face it, things are probably going to change. Once you find out a friend has a crush on you, the way you interact with that person is inevitably going to change. Not really looking forward to that awkwardness either. 2 more paragraphs, guys. So it comes down to this. Do you think I should tell her or not? And if I tell her, should I just straight up talk to her about it, or should I try to explain it in a letter? I find it really difficult just to straight up tell her, mainly due to the fact I wouldn't be able to find a suitable moment. We're not really alone that often, and when we're alone and then saying, yes, by the way, I have to tell you something, I have a crush on you, I'm going to jump out the window now. That doesn't really seem appealing to me. Writing a letter, perhaps in runic writing, seems more like me, but it also seems impersonal and perhaps cowardly. And if I would write a letter, should I write it in an open fashion like this and just explain my situation, or should I try and be more optimistic a bit and a bit romantic, even though I feel that she doesn't feel the same way for me? I apologize once again for my English and the length of this email ended up having. If only writing my university papers was this easy. Thank you for putting in all this time to read it. I really appreciate it. You're a wonderful person, and I thank you for all the awesome content you put out. Anonymous. P.S. Since you ended up looking up the word count last time, it ended up at 932. That's about 1.2 or 1.3 pages, I think. Sorry. Woo! Done.
It's like no, that is about 3 pages, 900 words,
Yeah.
depending on, I don't know what font you're using, bud. Wow, there's a lot in there.
All right.
How to unpack this?
I mean, I saw Ryan going thumbs up at writing her a letter in runic writing, dude. That's
the runic writing. But I think my first thought is, it sounds like something like this has happened to you before, and the impression I'm getting is you probably come off a little intense. Like, that was a lot of feelings, and if you share that with her all at once, Neil may disagree here. Neil's more with wear your emotions on your sleeve kind of guy, but that's going to freak her out. Like, that's a lot of pressure to put on a person.
That is a lot of pressure.
But you clearly have a lot in common. She has some. She probably views you as a good friend, which is a great thing. I mean, she sounds awesome. You sound awesome. You deserve more confidence, which I'll probably get into in just a bit. But it sounds like this is a person you want in your life, and it's okay to show her that. You don't want to unpack it all at once. You don't want to like corner her and force her to listen to these. These frankly, fantasies, right? This is you've got a very compelling relationship with this woman in your own head that you.
Well, I think they have a compelling friendship, and he just kind of wants it to be something else, and has for a little while.
So, it sounds like this is worth pursuing, and it sounds like you want to pursue a relationship with this woman. So go for it, but know that sometimes these things don't work out.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it sounds like maybe this won't work out for you. So I don't want to get your hopes up, but it's still going to be a valuable experience.
That's true.
You can still have a good and enriching relationship with this person, even if she doesn't have romantic feelings for you.
I mean,
don't live in fear of blowing that up. I mean,
the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Wasn't that about the Nazis?
That was about the Second World War, but it applies to all things in life.
Fear is the mind killer.
Yeah.
Fear is the little death that brings about total destruction.
I think
is a more nerd appropriate quote.
The part that gets me is where you talk to her roommate, and her roommate said that she probably doesn't have any romantic feelings for you.
I heard that too. And that actually, on some level, who gives a shit what the roommate thinks? But, she may be out of your league.
It may not even be a league thing. It may just be...
Yeah, that's an expression, and we can debate the semantics of that.
Because, I've had roommates, and I haven't been super close with them, all of them.
This is a roommate.
There's
a lot of backstory that I am not privy to.
Her roommate.
Okay. Okay.
So I've had a lot of roommates. The ones that I haven't been that close with, I didn't know too much about their personal life. But it sounds like her roommate is part of your intense, close social group. Now, when I was roommates with my intense, close social group, I more or less knew who they liked and what was going on in their lives. Like, we would hang out, we would talk, we would chat, we'd cover all manner of things. If her roommate is saying she probably doesn't have any feelings for you, I think that's like polite code for saying she doesn't like you, dude. But they're throwing in that probably to kind of ease the transition. Yeah,
but don't take that don't take that shit from anyone in your life. I mean, prove her wrong, the roommate wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if this girl is going to reject you, prove her wrong too. Be a version of yourself that she would want to date. Be her dream guy. Be
all that you can be.
Be all that you can be. What is that from?
It's the old army slogan.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Be excellent to yourself. Be excellent.
Yeah. And that's excellence is a process. You may not be who you need to be to date her now.
Mm-hmm.
But 5 years from now, when you may meet someone else, and by then maybe you've got your shit more figured out. maybe you've perfected your runic carvings to the point of alpha male nerddom or whatever. But that doesn't mean that you should not be carving her poems in runic this very night, sir.
I don't know.
That sounds like a badass thing to do. Better forge her a kitchen knife of the finest mithril with runes carved into it. The runes say some.
Usually, I'm on the more romantic side of things. Like, go for her, chase her down. You only lose, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Maybe it's not worth the mithril on this one.
In this situation, I think
show her the mithril kitchen knife that you make for yourself to demonstrate your value.
Well, okay, so
and if she's not into it, then
what gets me here is that this girl was to your entire friend group. And if things blow up with this girl, in theory, like you could be risking your entire social circle. That's a lot to risk.
That's a good point. But she's into this. She's into a lot of the same things you are. She will appreciate your runic poem. You don't even have to give it to her. Just make it and share that part of yourself with her, right? Make it, yeah. I think this sounds like a valuable relationship, whether or not there's boob touching involved.
Yeah.
So don't blow it up. And I think that's sort of what Neil's getting at.
Well, kind of. I mean, so once upon a time, I dated this girl. Let's not bother with names here.
But I will know who this is. So
you will probably know who this is by the end of the story.
Give more vague,
we'll
circular. Okay.
And so I dated this girl after getting out of a pretty rough relationship. We dated for a short time, but over the course of that relationship, she kind of reinstilled confidence in myself, kind of made me happier to be myself. I was pretty kind of in a bad place socially and self-confidence wise. We ended up breaking up. She moved to the other side of the country. But I've always valued that relationship more for the change that came through me during that period than for the relationship, than for the romantic side of that. And were I not married now and this person were to come back in my life, I would still like her quite a bit. She'd be great, but I would never pursue a relationship with her because of sometimes the friend side of a relationship is more important than the romantic side of a relationship. And with this person in particular, there's no hope ever for a romantic relationship with her. We're neither of us married or any of that stuff. Like the benefits I got from her being my friend and for helping me through a hard time in my life way outweighed the cost, any potential romantic thing there. And I think that's maybe a situation that you have right now where you like this girl a lot, but through her you have become more confident, you've gotten a larger group of friends, you're in a better place in your life because of your friendship with this girl. And you may like her. You may like her a lot. And I think you may be in a situation where you need to value her as a friend instead of valuing her as a romantic partner. And that is contradictory to my typical, chase the girls down because they're wonderful and you want them. Well, not that you want them. That's a bad way of phrasing that, but because everyone likes everyone and you should do those sorts of things. But I think this is a situation where you might want to say, you know what? I have gained a lot from this person. This person is a huge, valuable friend to me. Losing their friendship would be worse than gaining their love.
Yeah.
Or losing their friendship, yeah. Not losing her friendship is more important than gaining her love. That's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
Just
one thing I'd like to add here. It's not to shy away from these feelings. I mean, I think Neil makes a good point with you do want to preserve this friendship. But you can let this unrequited love be a part of it. I mean, you don't need to bury that deep inside. You can wear that on your sleeve, right? Yeah, I mean, you can... Don't be too pushy. I mean, you can let her... If she doesn't want to be with you, it's not... I mean, it might not happen. But...
You could mix the two.
It sounds like you have you got some beautiful feelings for this this woman, for this gal.
Mm-hmm.
And cherish that. I mean, you're feeling.
That's a wonderful thing.
It's good to be alive, man.
Yeah. You
I like-
could you could
let her be your muse, even if despite all else, like still cherish that for you. And I think that's a reason to keep her in her life and to keep her as your friend.
Yeah.
But
You could write a runic friend poem for her. Kind of like
that's sort of what I was getting at.
yeah, like once upon a time when we first met, I really was into you, but having known you as a friend, you've grown and our relationship has grown, and now you're what I would consider one of my closer friends, and I really appreciate you for all these things, and thank you for you can write her a really nice friend poem, and you can allude to like I used to like you in the past, but now that's gone, and then maybe that will bring I don't know.
No, I wouldn't even get into that. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's from the sound of it, she is not compelled to you sexually. And maybe that will change, maybe that won't. You can't force that to happen. That's something you can kind of keep to yourself, and you don't want to make it. That's why I think what I was getting at with it'll be intense if you tell her all of these feelings.
Yeah.
But really, you can cherish your friendship, and you can cherish her without freaking her out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Get out your nice pen and ink. If you don't have a nice pen and ink and you're into runic writing,
dude,
get your
carve
shit
them.
Together
Carve them out of wood. Carve them out of stone.
Yeah. Epic runes, elven runes for friendship, or whatever it is you write.
Yeah.
Klingon.
Yeah, you've got a lot of feelings for this person, and it sounds like some of them need to get out a little bit.
So share the good, wholesome friendship feelings with her.
Mm-hmm.
Don't freak her out.
Yeah, I would
embrace the passion that you feel for her.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't overwhelm her. Have some respect for her.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're kind of done here. There was one thing he mentioned that I want to just take out of context and just chat between you and I. There's a certain point here where he said something like, would you want to know if one of your best friends had feelings for you, or would you rather have them keep it to themselves? And out of context here, just you, Ryan. One of your close female friends has feelings for you. Do you want to know about it?
This is not me with the feelings. This is that I'm vain, and I also don't really read people all that well, or at least I don't know, at least in my personal life.
But if you had a close female friend,
so I personally love to find that shit out. I usually don't figure it out in the moment. I usually find out later, and it's like sort of a dough kind of moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I personally like to know how people around me feel, and it's a nice ego massage.
But would that change the way you interact with her?
I'm trying to think back in my past if this has ever happened to me, and I'm sure it has, but nothing's like leaping out at me as a good example. I mean,
if someone that you thought was a friend secretly likes you, and then she tells you, I could see that changing the way you feel about someone.
Yeah, let's stroke my ego a little bit. And I mean, I'm an attractive man. I mean, and I also live in a beautiful country and a beautiful world, and I happen to be tall and white and male, and I reap all of the benefits that go along with that. I feel like I'm sort of used to this. And I recognize that's an entitled state. So I'm and it's nice. It's nice to know. It's a good ego massage, right? Mm-hmm. To know that people around you find you attractive.
Yeah, it's great, but it could be awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if one of your coworkers. I assume you have a.
I mean, that's sort of what I was saying is like that. I mean, that's. I guess what I was pointing out is that I recognize this privileged state that I feel kind of used to that.
I see what you mean. I see what you're saying here.
And it's nice. I don't act on it because that's like short-sighted. You know, like that shit blows up in your face.
But you are a man of incredible self-control, Ryan.
Yes, that is true.
And that's not just said to stroke your ego further, which probably shouldn't be done anymore in this episode of LoveBytes. I think Ryan's ego is kind of
I stroke my ego enough.
I
So
don't know,
yeah,
man.
but that's what I'm saying. For me personally, like it's nice. I mean, especially like I've got I've despite all the ego stroking, I've got my own bundle of insecurities, and I've it's it gets you get more used to it as you get older. I guess is what I'm wanting
I
to
think
say. But
I think for me, if I
yeah,
had
no,
a close
what's your
friend
perspective?
who had a crush on me, I mean, of course, I would love to know. It'd be great to be like, oh, she's got a crush on me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. But I think it would definitely change the nature of my relationship with her, and it would maybe get a little bit more awkward. And I might kind of not like intentionally distance myself from her, but I probably wouldn't seek out socializing with her as much. Like she would go from whatever priority of socialization that she was to a lower priority of socialization. I would gladly accept her request to hang out, but I would probably like seek her out less often to socialize. So that's just how I
Yeah,
feel about it.
it does wind up. Yeah, I do wind up like if I know that someone is sexually attracted to me, I do. I mean, I'm not, and I'm in a committed long term relationship. I'm not looking for that sort of thing anymore. So I actively do wind up having to push away. You know what I mean? And
hmm
nip out those flames of passion in the bud
Yeah,
because I know that. Yeah,
yeah. All right. I think that's it for today,
trying
guys.
to bring this one in for a close.
Yeah, we're done with our stuff. We will probably be doing another Love Bites episode during the marathon stream in like 2 weeks. So if you have more questions, send them on in. We'll get to them. Don't know who the guest will be, but we'll figure it out then. I'd like to thank Ryan for coming on and helping us deal with these people's issues. I think today could kind of be summed up by saying, be yourself, be proud of yourself, go after the things you want in life, don't hold
Yeah,
back.
yeah, and
Um,
boob touching's great, and
Boob
so is
touching is
friendship.
fantastic, and friendship is wonderful. Friendship with boob touching is even better. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that's it. Ryan, any other last words?
Um.
Do you need to do
Yeah.
a shout out to any
Yeah.
honeys out
I'll
there?
throw in another. The love of my life, Aaron, for teaching me so much
Oh,
about teaching me about love, so that I can share it with the masses.
oh, that's cute.
Or
We've actually had an Aaron Love Bites before. Maybe we'll grab
yeah,
one of
I
those
think
again.
I think we did like 2 weeks. Like I did one and she did one. I
Yeah.
never actually watched hers. I'll go back and find the VODs.
Maybe we can cut the
I
VOD
mean,
before you
I
said
was
that.
there next to her while she was doing it, but
Okay.
I couldn't hear your side of the
Well,
conversation.
okay. If we're going to get a little sidetracked here, I know we're closing out the show. Would you and Aaron ever be interested in doing a couples love bites? I discussed this with someone else where we'd have two guests. I would just read questions and the two
Yeah.
people would answer.
Yeah, we can do that at some point. Sure.
Where the two of
Yeah.
you dispense advice together.
God, yeah, that would be
That sounds amazing.
that would be something.
All right, we'll get to that eventually down the line. But that's it for Love Bites today, guys. Stick around. I'm going to be streaming for the next 23, 24 hours, something like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. And then we got Shenanigans on Sunday, which we might have Ryan for. We don't know yet. Probably not.
We'll see.
Don't count on it. But there might be surprise Bixby's.
He needs to level up, but I got shit to do. The dilemmas. The dilemmas. All right. Thanks for watching. Touch boobs, make friends.
Live life. Bye-bye.